number 3.
We're already overdue.
Prayer?
How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Here about the alley in
Oh,
Springersville
wait a minute. For drainage board or?
to close an alley in Springersville.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. That'll be later on the
Okay.
agenda.
All right.
I don't see anybody to say prayer. Let's all rise for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting to order. I remind you to please silence your phones, however that may be. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, which would be dated October 1st. All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. We'll begin with department reports. Is Dan here today? I don't think he is.
Don't think so.
Matt, do you,
Yeah.
don't you have a 144 today?
Yes, I just want to see, if you got copies of my email, I just was requesting to be able to hire Alvin Day for the part-time position at the health department. He is a retired sheriff's deputy in Union County, and he has been with the preparedness program for Union County doing their preparedness on a part-time basis, and he could work part-time over here as well and get all the stuff that Peck County needs done. And it'd be great because we wouldn't have to train him. He already knows what the requirements are. He's attending the meetings, so it'll cost us half as much for the travel because he's going to attend as for Peck County and Union County. So I really think it'd be a great fit for us to get the requirements of the grant.
And now, through your email, Matt, we're aware of the situation, but you might tell us, because we went through this, I think, last meeting,
Okay.
hiring another one, and I
Yeah,
think they backed out.
the previous, I had asked for somebody else to fill the position, and it was approved, and that person then declined. He first said he was interested and then declined.
Okay.
So that's why I'm trying to.
While we're here
Yeah.
today for the
Yeah.
new person.
I'll move to approve the 144 for Alvin Day.
I'll second the motion.
There's a motion made and properly seconded to approve the 144 request from the health department. Is there any other questions for Matt? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Lisa? Is Lisa here someplace? No? Did she submit it to you, or? Okay. We've got extension office personnel?
Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
First of all, we want to say thank you again for agreeing to cover the enrollment for 4-H. So far, we opened enrollment October 1st. So far, we've got 15 mini members, 37 traditional members, and 9 volunteers. So we're well on our way, but we're still far away from our normal 450-ish kids. So Rhonda and I are working continually on more promotion of that, reminders frequently about the online registration that needs done. We had several kids that we gave the information to at the farmer's market booth that we had, and we've had several of those since already enrolled. So we're pretty excited because those are completely new members. So that's what we're looking for. So we're pretty excited about that. We're also going to be doing 2 trick-or-treats. And so of course we're doing the courthouse trick-or-treat, and we're doing the New Heights trunk-or-treat. So we'll have some more promotions at both of those events. So we're pretty excited about how things are started off. We've got 4 Facebook reminders that we're reminding them about every 3 weeks. And we have a newsletter going out this week, the normal fall newsletter that goes out. That will also have a reminder and actual step-by-step instructions, because sometimes that's a problem and people putting it off because they just aren't sure how to do it. So we're hoping between all of those outreach events that we're going to really have people enrolling a little bit quicker. I'm sure at the beginning of the year when the final deadline comes up, there'll be a mad dash to the end as usual. But so far I think we're doing pretty well. So we are here for a couple of reasons. The first thing is that we want to be able to we've got the yard signs that promote 4-H, have our phone number on them, that type of thing. We were wanting to put a couple of signs on the east side of the courthouse, on the west side of the courthouse, in the edge of the grass, and then also in a couple where the stairs are that come down to our office. I think sometimes people don't know where our office is. We were hoping that would kind of direct them if they have questions. So we were wanting to put 1, maybe 2 in that grassy area there as well. So that we're just asking for permission to do that.
Problem?
Why not?
Okay.
Let's do it.
That sounds good. We'll get those up in this week. Thank you for that.
And they'll be up primarily during enrollment time?
Yes, we can take those down. Well, enrollment is January 15th. We may keep them up before then, depending on Christmas stuff. We may take them down a little bit earlier. If you guys have any issues and they need to come down, please contact us and we'll be happy to do that. But we'll get those up this week, and then for sure they'll be down in January.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And then the second thing is, Rhonda's not here, right? She had another meeting she was at, so I'm going to cover something for her real quick. Rhonda is very passionate and working very hard with the Junior Leaders Club in our county. So that's really just a passion that she's got. Right now we have about 5 kids in Junior Leaders. What Junior Leaders is another 4-H club. And it's just a club that instead of working on the projects for the fair, those kids are working on going to leadership summits, training opportunities. She wants them to start attending some government meetings, such as this meeting here, just so they learn some more civic responsibility and just knowledge of how things work in our town. One of the things that she is having this within Junior Leaders, then they can become an ambassador, which is kind of another level. And when they're going to be an ambassador, she is wanting them to go to some training. It's called a Leadership Summit on November the 16th of this year. It's a 1-day summit event. The cost is $40 per person, and then there will also be some expense incurred for food. So what she is looking for is for $40 per person for probably 5 kids plus 2 adults. So a total of 7, it's $40 total, not total, $40 per each, whether they're a kid or an adult. So she is looking to get some coverage to help with the monetary funds on that. I'm looking to see if she had anything else on here. Rhonda will be one of the sponsors. She will be taking the youth herself, and then she will have 1 more adult, as I said, to go with her. So the kids won't be just attending by herself. One of the things I believe that she wanted them to do afterwards, if you're willing to help on the expense of that, is she wants the kids to come here and report back to you guys on what they've learned, what their plan is for the future, so that it's not just a one and done thing, but it's another way for the kids to learn leadership and civic responsibility and gratefulness as well.
How many kids did you say?
About 5.
5.
And I can't remember I don't have the deadline where they have to sign up. I'm sorry about that. So we could bring you the total number either at the next meeting or the meeting after that actually signed up, but it's open for all those kids. But we did want it to bring that forth to you guys now so you're aware of it.
What's the pleasure of the board on that?
Are we allowed to do that?
We know you had some money allocated for 4-H, and so we weren't sure where that allocation laid for sure. So that's what we're here, just kind of, I guess, questioning whether that's as a part of that or whether it was just enrollment fee coverage.
No, it's all for 4-H.
Your request,
Whatever you want.
yeah, your request kind of adds a tail to the kite, so to speak.
It's fair.
I know that when that money was originally set aside, what you're describing wasn't part of the equation at that time.
That's
The
true.
reason I questioned whether or not we could legally do that or not. It's not something that I'm prepared to even attempt to answer right this minute.
We'll look into it.
I would suggest you look into it.
Maybe we can come up with an answer by the next meeting,
You should be able to.
Okay, that'd be fine. We'll be here.
one way or the other.
Okay, that'd be fine. Thanks for your consideration on that.
Same email about the things they want to dispose of. Does
Yeah.
that need commissioner approval? Like office equipment. Did you guys all see, I sent an email, forwarded an email earlier where they had asked, they had some office equipment that's stored in the basement that's like broken, and they just wanted permission to dispose of it. I didn't know if they needed commissioner approval.
I did see that. Is it, the surplus equipment you have, is it any use to anyone else in the building?
It's broken chairs, chairs without wheels. What was the other? There was a dehumidifier.
Yeah.
There was a dehumidifier that doesn't work. So no, short answer, no. No, I was kidding. Maybe they could, but I don't think they would want to.
You probably should have been put in the dumpster when it was taken to storage.
Probably right, yes. So, and I had emailed Jane this morning with those numbers to get off inventory list, and so perhaps that's something, we need approval from you guys as well. So.
If it is in the inventory, it has to be accounted for sure.
Or decounted.
There you go.
Well, it would have to be, removed from the inventory list item by item.
Who do we need to communicate with to
Do
get
you
that
think
taken
we
care
ought
of?
to consult with Bill Gray on that? Since he's familiar with everything in the building. He could tell us whether it was actually junk that needed to go to the trash or whether it should be something else done with it. I don't know.
That's something you just need me to come down and take a look at it.
Sure, yeah, we can do that, absolutely. Yep.
I haven't seen it, Bill.
I'll go down and take a look at it. I got a desk that's gotta come.
Can we
Okay,
give him the
sure.
authority to get
Yeah,
rid
that's
of
fine.
it?
When you bring that, we
Yeah,
can go and
take it
look
off
at
the-
That's
Yeah.
fine. Sure.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll move.
So we don't have to go through this again?
I'll move to give Bill Gray the authority to make the determination on whether this is trash or treasure, and keep track of the inventory numbers so that it can be taken off our inventory list if it's disposed of.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded that we allow Bill to make that decision on inventory that needs to be removed. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
Okay, and then one final thing, we formally wanted to invite each one of you, got a flyer for all of you. We are pretty honored to have Dr. Renee McKee from Purdue, who's head of 4-H over Indiana. She's going to come to our town, and she's going to speak to our town. So we're sending out invites, the invite's going to the newsletter of all the 4-H members from last year that will receive the letter this week. But she's going to come and talk to us just about, kind of to help our whole community understand what is extension, what do we do, what does the future of 4-H look like as a whole. So she's agreed to come down and talk to us. That's on November 12th. That'll be at the banquet hall in the Miller Building. And we've got RSVPs are required for that, so I'll just send those over to you guys. And we would love to have you guys come. You've been a great help to Extension so far for Rhonda and I just in the few weeks that we've been here, and we appreciate everything. So we wanted to personally invite you guys to this presentation.
Thank you.
That's all I've got.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Heather.
you.
Appreciate it. Michelle? thank you for emailing that to us as well. I have it on the computer.
It's a lot easier than printing everything, having big stack. The packets that you got there are the annual reports for community corrections, jail treatment, probation, and prosecutor. Those have to be by statute submitted to both commissioners and council just for your review. I don't have drug courts there. I'm not sure if he emailed it to you or not. Okay. I sent an email to him, but I haven't had a response yet from Brandon. But there are those, and then he can send you his just for your review. The other issue that I have is we did submit the grants, as you know, and DOC added for the first time a 5% increase to the 100 series, which is personnel, for a cost of living raise. So the advisory board met today, and those grants have to go be amended to include those additional funds, and they approved the cost of living raises for all the entities. And Community Corrections was given an additional $25,394. Drug Court was given an additional $4,025. Jail Treatment was given an additional $8,491. Probation was given an $8,235, and Prosecutor Diversion was given an additional $1,893. And I have a copy of those for everybody. So that would make the total Department of Corrections grant $1,117,861.60 for the calendar year 2020. So we'll be sending those amended grants in, but I have to have, the commissioners have to approve us sending the amended grants in, and then I'll get a letter and bring it over like we did when we submitted the original grants for Jane.
Now, Michelle, will the increase cover salaries and benefits?
Fringe, yeah.
Fringes?
They split it. What they did was they just determined, and I can forward the email if you want, 2.5% for salary and 2.5% for fringe, but you can split it however you need to cover, but that's just how they figured it.
I see. Okay.
And Diana has figured the other 3 grants, and then I'm working on my 2 on the jail treatment and community corrections. Then they'll have to be changed in telegrants and resubmitted, but it needs commissioner's approval to resubmit.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past, the DOC grant year has been from like July 1st to June 30th.
Yes.
And starting in 2020, it'll be January 1st to December 31st,
Yes,
right?
what we're working on now, they call a Fund Year 19 extension.
Right.
So it's just 6 months to carry us through, because they're changing to calendar
I was
year
thinking
like
that's the way
everybody
it
else.
was, but I'd slept a
Yes.
few times since, and we had talked about it. And
Yes,
I was thinking there was a 6-month extension on 19 to,
there is.
so that
And
we can,
here's the award letter, there's a copy there for everybody.
so you need from this board a motion to approve
All-
the increased application? Or
Yes,
the
for all
increase
the
for
departments
application.
on the 100s, yeah.
Okay, so this is so that you can resubmit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll move that we give Michelle permission to resubmit the community corrections grant to include the changes that she just described.
And we'll need that for all the entities.
It's the DOC grant.
Yes, yes.
The DOC grant.
All right, will the DOC grant cover it all?
DOC grants,
Okay.
yes.
I'll amend my motion to just say the DOC grant.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded that we approve, or we give Michelle the permission to resubmit her grant applications to reflect these increases that DOC has approved. Is there any other questions from Michelle? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
A couple more issues. The washers and dryers in our facility, they're stackable units. There's two side by side. I had probably spent over $5,000 in the last 3 years for repairs. No one here will work on them. I have to call Super Laundry out of Indy, and they charge, usually it's a minimum of $500 each time something's wrong. And half the time, they're not even back to Indy and they've already quit. I've been looking because you're limited on space. And Menards has stackable sets for $1,899 for the set, and they are commercial. And I got approval from the advisory board today to purchase 2 sets of those. Eric's checked the specs and they will fit in that same location, to pay for them out of CTP funds, and just because of the dollar amount, I believe it needs to go in front of this board.
You got the money to pay for them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That helps.
I'll move to approve the purchase of new washer and dryer.
I'll second.
Been a motion made and seconded that we approve the purchase request that Michelle has presented to us. Is there any other questions for Michelle? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
One more thing. I'd like permission to purchase a new Dodge Ram from Reisman Motors, and the money to purchase that would come from my commissary account. And I would like to trade in the 2002 Explorer. It's needing a lot of work. And then the Dodge truck, the white Dodge truck that we have, I would let drug court use that. They need a more reliable vehicle than the Explorer that they've been using of ours. And that would be paid for out of commissary funds. Got the money in there, and the advisory board approved it today.
I'll move to approve her purchase for the new Dodge Ram.
I'll second, I think. We'll get to questions here in a second.
Okay.
Been a motion made and seconded that we approve the request for the purchase of a Dodge Ram and trading in the Explorer. Is there any questions?
Yes. Okay, you want to buy a new, is this a new truck or used truck?
Yeah, new.
Okay, to replace a Ford Explorer, with what vintage?
I think it's a 2002.
Okay, has it reached the end of its life expectancy, would you say?
Yeah.
Drug court says every time they use it, when he brings it back, something else is wrong with it.
Okay. Who would be using the new Dodge pickup?
I haven't even thought about that yet, where it's going. It'd be for use at community corrections.
In what way? I'm trying to picture this.
For field checks, and just like today, we had someone that was released yesterday for work and never returned back to the facility. I got a tip where he was in Washington, Indiana. So I had to send, their PD went and located him and detained him for me. and that's a 3.5-hour drive one way, so I had to send somebody. I mean, we're out checking, doing employment checks and tracking people down all the time. We're going to the prisons just like the jail does and pick up people when they're released and they've got time with us.
Okay, so this is not for work release crew work?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no, that's the van and the trash trailer.
Okay. Your advisory board has already approved this?
Yes, today.
Okay.
Do you have the dollar amounts? that-
We just, the last one, I think it was right around 27 something.
But you don't have a final deal working?
No, absolute, no. And it'd be coming out of our commissary account, which didn't have to go in front of the advisory board, but because it was such a big purchase, I wanted to run it through there to get approval.
Okay. But this is their money over there. I don't have any more questions.
But it'll be our vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll own the vehicle, and they'll be paying for it.
Mhm.
The vehicle that drug court using, you'll continue to maintain that under your budget?
I want to trade that in, but then
No,
let
the
them use
one-
the truck. Yeah, because they don't have any money to
Right.
pay for fuel or service or anything, no.
So it'll continue to come from your budget?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah,
wondering.
the judge was happy.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. Is Orland here?
No, I think.
Or was that part of?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So take care of prosecutors and drug court.
And
And I did email the drug court, I don't know if you guys all saw it, in the annual report that Michelle said she did not have. Diana had emailed that to us.
okay. I must have missed that. Bill? Jay, you're next.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Jay.
We finally finished, well, we're not finished paving yet. We're fixing the can for Bill out there that Mike's putting in, paving over top of it. He come down and asked us this morning if we want to pave it or he'd hire somebody to come in and do it. It's cheaper for us to do it.
Sure
So
is.
we're doing that. But we've been trimming a few trees. We haven't got it around a lot. We just did get the brush cutter back on the road.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to free somebody up to run it. And that's the biggest question. And we've been putting gravel, still putting gravel down. We've got half of Columbia done. Time we get the other half done, and we'll start on the ones we blacked out.
Okay.
And that's pretty much been keeping us busy, bringing the stockpile in and putting it down on the roads and trying to get some trees and stuff cut. We've got both of our patch machines are down right now because they just need gone through because they're getting a little age on them. And our distributor, they run it down on 460 down there. We triple sealed that road right when we quit. And it needs to be sent off to Ednar and have them go through it because it's not spraying right. It's got a lot of major leaks in around the pump and it just sounds like something's coming apart inside the pump in there. So
Okay.
we'll probably send it off and then they can fix it over the winter months and we'll just pay it out of next year's money. It's going to be a major fix on it, but it'll be well worth it once we get it back.
And you'll send the Durapatchers once patching
One
season?
at a time, yeah.
Once season's done,
Yeah.
patching season's done with that. Yeah.
That's all I have.
Did you get that email that Craig sent about the gravel road?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a picture of it too.
Okay, all right,
I'll get on whoever done it.
all right, thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
I got a whole list of stuff for you. I'll just come down and see you.
Watch out.
Okay.
I've got my notes there.
I expect that, Dale.
I don't wanna put you on the spot here in the middle of the meeting.
I'll look forward to seeing you when you come back.
Thanks, Jay. Bill Gray?
Howdy. I don't have anything. I just trying to get everything ready for winter.
Great.
My favorite time of year. Trying to get the equipment up and everything running. Switched over from summer to winter. And I've got the annex premium now out there cold in the morning. So it's time to get the boiler stuff done for the winter.
Well, it's good to hear there's not something wrong.
It's early.
In the day or the month?
Yeah. I don't have anything else. You guys have anything for me?
Thank you, Bill.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Michael? You have anything today?
Not super anything. I just, I've been running around like a chicken with its head cut off, or a head with its chicken cut off, I'm not sure which. Just been trying to get those final computers out. I need to get my vacation time taken before the auditor kills me. So I'm gonna try to just work a couple days in here and there in the next couple weeks. And just do that way, because that's the only way it's gonna work out. So other than that, that's just pretty much it. You guys have anything for me?
Nothing? Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. And Kelly, we have you on the agenda as well today.
Hi. Today I'm here to have my vendor Mobilecom speak with you guys. It's going to be giving you some oversight and overview on the upgrade that we're trying to do with the radios over there. So I'm going to turn it over to them because I have nothing to say in lieu of it. Mark Bumcart and Ed Strichter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you very much for letting us come.
To kind of bring this in, Kelly and I, we wanted to explain to the other two commissioners a little bit of the details about the grant, what it's going to do, what it's going to pay for, what it's not going to pay for, and then we understand that there's Motorola or someone has kind of threw in a monkey wrench to the situation with the equipment that we have, and so we're kind of concerned whether to spend the money on this upgrade or wait and do a whole console change out. So that's why we kind of ask you here to kind of explain why we should or shouldn't do this, continue this upgrade procedure. So
Okay.
that's where we were.
Okay.
We're kind of where we're at.
Sure, I understand. Primarily what we're doing is, prior to the announcement by Motorola that those consoles would be end of life 2021 December, all the counties that we serve in Indiana who had the same console were in the process of updating the old radios, your mission critical 800 radios that sit in the rack in the basement are XDL 5000 old radios, and they were end of life 2018. I've got this end of life sheet. And so what this quote does is it focuses on replacing your end-of-life radios and computers that are the core of the voice portion of your console. And that's what Dearborn County has done, Ripley County has done, Franklin County just did it. That's what this quote does, is replace those old radios that are end-of-life on that sheet and the old computers. And regardless of the console issue, that equipment carries forward to be used in your next new console. So this equipment that's being put in is going to carry forward into the next system.
So at the end of 2021, that's, the radios are still usable.
Correct.
I mean, what we're doing, what we're spending now won't be thrown in the trash can, so it's
Correct. We're putting in these APX 8500s which are compatible with whatever next console you get, next
Okay.
generation. So this equipment, you're needing it anyway, and that's what all of these other counties we deal with have done the same thing.
Okay.
They have MCC 5500s. They're dealing with that. We thought that would be around longer, but Motorola decided to, announce end of life on that. I've got that document with me. But what I passed on to you is showing the end of life on the 800 digital radios you're currently using.
Well, I think that was this board's major concern, that we were going to spend good money for bad. And we wanted to make sure that we didn't want to turn down a grant, but yet we didn't want to spend what little money we have on something that's not going to be good for more than 2 years.
Right.
So that's what we wanted to clarify today.
Yeah, you're simply following the path that my other customers are following as they've upgraded that equipment because it was end of life. And
Okay.
it will roll right into your next system.
Okay.
I know from a technical aspect, this is forward compatible, as Mark said, so it's not like you're, buying something short term. It would be forward compatible with the new equipment. And when something goes end of life, usually too, it just means quite literally that as quickly as the electronics industry is moving now, that it's just the components used to manufacture that radio are no longer available. It's not the fact of we just want to sell the product. It's that, it just quite literally a lot of components are not made anymore.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and that radio that you're using now, XDL 5000, has been around for like 15 years. So it's had a good run. But now we cannot get software or parts for it. So, that's why all my customers have updated that equipment.
And with upgrading it to the newest level, that would make future service easier too. As parts get a little harder to get, you're not running into a catch-22 or, yes, we can replace this part, but it's only compatible with the most current level of software. And so it can easily get into quite literally catch-22 where you can do it now when it's convenient, or in the future we can do it as an emergency. And especially with public safety communications, we don't like emergencies.
Right.
When it comes to that, we want to keep that as reliable and seamless as possible.
So then, at the end of 2021, what exactly won't be serviceable any longer of our system?
That would be the MCC 5500 console, as far as the console server and the channel boards that take the analog audio and communicate that to the actual radios. Your computers, your consoles are made up of a computer, an audio interface, and a server. The computers would still be fully capable. It's just your audio interface and server is going end of life.
Okay.
And so these new computers should be fully compatible with a new platform of console audio interface and server.
Okay. Realistically then, if the end of 2021, they're no longer service, or
Guaranteed factory service.
so are we looking at the need to have all that replaced before at that time period, or do we have another year? Do we have another 2 years before we need to consider upgrading all that? I'd like for us to be able to try to set a.
The 5500's been a very, very stable platform. I really like it myself because it keeps me at home at nights. And it's been a very, very stable console. But, everything ages.
Right.
And it's a matter of how long you want to push that into the future.
Obviously, it's not going to quit working on January 1st, 2022. May work fine. And if you got a spare console from another county, you could probably keep that as a spare and run the old console. It's kind of up to your budgetary situation. know.
We have very limited.
Yeah,
Limited.
that
That's
may
why
be possible.
that's why I'm asking, so we can try to create a
That may
calendar.
be possible. You'll, obviously, we'll do a budgetary quote, and you can decide as time passes whether you're gonna upgrade those consoles or try to run them maybe a bit longer with a spare, because once you pass December 31st, 2021, parts for the console and software are not available. So if they fail, unless you have a spare, you're down. So if you have a used spare, you could possibly extend the life of those by having a used spare. That is an option.
And upgrading the software and the computers now, and of course the radios, that would give you more options and basically more wiggle room coming into the future.
I see.
We're putting the latest software as part of this upgrade. We have to upgrade the software in the console because it talks to this new radio. It needs a software upgrade.
I see.
So the main thing is you're not wasting any money because you're buying newer equipment that you need to buy. This is what you should do as far as replacing end-of-life radios in your dispatch. And then this newer equipment will roll into your future new console. So when you decide to replace those, that will be debated, discussed, but obviously nothing is going to quit working. So, you know, we will support our customers any way we can, but if a part's not available or it involves software, there's nothing we can do other than put maybe a spare piece of equipment in.
Okay.
So I think that this purchase is just a wise purchase. This is just a normal replacing end-of-life equipment upgrade you're doing here.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from you two?
That's a relief, because when word of this grant first came in, we were wondering if we were just throwing good money after bad, and it turns out that's not the case.
This would be very forward-thinking, forward-looking.
Okay.
This is exactly what we did for Ripley County Dispatch. They had the same, basically similar size dispatch, same equipment. All we did was replace their old XDL radios with the newer radios.
Okay.
And at some point, they'll upgrade their consoles, which is a separate piece of equipment. And this newer equipment.
Otherwise, they're faced with the same
They're in the
situation.
same situation. So
Okay.
is Franklin County, identical situation.
All right.
Same with Dearborn County. They all are still using their 5500s.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But they've all upgraded their radios that I've put in this quote. You're getting the same thing.
Okay.
So you're simply doing what they've done. I think Franklin County just got finished.
What, Franklin County?
Yeah, when did that upgrade finish? Or have we put it in?
No, we haven't done Franklin County.
Oh, I mean-
Dearborn County, the console
Yeah.
side is finished.
I'm sorry, Franklin's sitting in our garage. It's all been
Well, the
ordered.
equipment's being prepped right now.
Right, John Hundley just said, hey, Mark, when I get my new stuff? And we said right after we finished Dearborn County. So yeah, they've ordered everything. It's simply
Okay.
going to be installed probably in the next few weeks.
Mhm. Correct.
So,
Okay. All right. Well, great. I appreciate you taking time to explain it to us, and I guess I feel better about what we're doing now.
Sounds better than what we first heard.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
yeah, if you have more detailed questions, we can, go over that. Be happy to.
In
Anything else,
MobileCom
Mark?
too, we've been in public safety communications since there has been public safety communications in this area. The founder installed the first mobile radio in the first police car in the Ohio Valley.
Okay. Great. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been at MobileCom 30 years, and Ed's been there 25. So been-
Just a few
been
years
while.
then.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for your time.
Thank you, Kelly. All right. Are there any other department heads here today that have anything? Sheriff, I apologize. I knew you were there, and
That's all right.
I just drew a blank.
I just have titles for you guys to sign. We auctioned off that 77 Dodge truck and one of the Durangos. And also, through the seizure fund, through the prosecutor's office, we did purchase a vehicle. I'd rather not mention what the vehicle is in here. It will be used for our drug detective, so we don't want to out what the covert vehicle is supposed to be. So, but that is purchased through funds through there, through nowhere else. I just need the reassignment of a vehicle by registered dealer, paper signed, and 2 titles signed for Coons Auction. So let me bring these around. Yeah.
What did you Dodge truck bring?
The Dodge truck brought $350. I don't know who wants to sign where. Just
You think if we'd have held on longer, we'd got more?
what's that? We might have got more if we scrapped it. It'd been close. The Durango brought 200. So, but scrap prices are down, so we probably wouldn't have. Scrap prices probably got 500 for it like last year, but now I think it 200, 300 bucks. So, but they're gone. Eyesore's gone. The vehicle that we're getting for the drug detective will replace the one that he's currently driving, which is a seized vehicle that's going to be will probably be in the next Coons auction. So it will take the place of that. And one of those titles says Sheriff's Department. So Jane and I discussed one of you signing that, and I'll sign it as well. We'll get that over to Coons so they can get those vehicles to those folks. And while I'm wasting time, we also have that UTV that we asked about the grant. We didn't get the full amount. We did just go ahead and purchase one for the amount that we were given. Purchase that through, remember the name of that place? Diane in Richmond. Place in Richmond, and they're getting all the stuff on it, and we'll have that. And then we'll figure out where we're gonna store it in a trailer for that. So. Thanks, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
I saw some council ladies out here. Did either one of you have anything for the commissioners? All right, we'll move on to mail. Is there any mail from anybody that needs to be brought forward?
I don't have any.
Old business, the county farm.
I don't think so.
Did we get anything done?
Oh, we talked about how we were going to label that. I probably need to get to that. I can get with Jane on that. Our question was, what was your final say on how you wanted to do it?
I think we wanted to advertise, or they submit a bid and they're able to raise their bids the day of opening, right?
Yeah. So silent bids and then come in for an auction essentially?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With us having the right to reject any or all of it,
Okay.
the normal.
Right. Okay.
And I think we just need to create that advertisement.
And you've done it in the past, right? In the past, you've always done it as just silent bidding, or you've just done it without the silent?
We've done
bids?
both.
Okay.
The last time it was done just as a silent bid, or sealed bids, and no option to raise. And the time before, I think they had the option to raise.
I guess the question is, will we announce what the silent bid is, what the high is on the date of the auction?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just kind of a way to get the bid started.
Mhm.
Okay.
Jane, didn't we set a date last
Yes,
for
November the
opening?
19th.
So we just need to work on that legal advertisement.
Yeah, we had a draft of it, but just the question he asked, we couldn't either one remember exactly how you wanted that worded.
Right.
Okay, all right, great. Is this still on here for Darryl? or-
Not if it needs to, if it doesn't.
Okay, all right. That's taken care of, Mr. Cox. The deed for Railcom property, that is to deed that property over from the commissioners to EDG, as we've done in the past with those properties up there in that industrial park, so that and then EDG in turn will deed that property over to Railcon, and it'll become their
they'll become owners and it'll go back on the tax rolls.
Do we need a motion for you to sign?
We need a motion to,
Only that you sign the deed.
it is just one,
No, all three,
it's all three of us.
I think.
No? Yes, it is. There's,
Yeah.
We all sign.
and we'll sign it in front of a notary after the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second the motion. I think this, if this is the last piece of property up there, it should be close to
We're getting very close.
it. Yeah.
I know the Taylor, they asked, they requested, but I'm not sure that that's ever come before us yet. Last year, they asked if it would, and we said, fine. And they never brought the paperwork to do it, so I'm pretty sure the Taylor property business is still under the commissioner's ownership.
We're getting close to being out of that
But
business.
yes, we are. So, there was a motion, is there a second?
Yeah.
Motion made and seconded that we do sign the quick claim deed. Is there any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. We'll do that in front of a notary after the meeting. And then, new business, Diana, public transit?
I'm just here to ask for the commissioner to sign the quarterly report so that we can claim down $66,200 for the public transit this quarter.
You just need our approval of your report?
The approval of the report and permission for the president to sign. I believe I emailed you the report.
Yeah. It's on my phone.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve the public transit quarterly fines report and authorize the president of the commissioners to sign your requested documents.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to approve the quarterly report and give the president permission to sign. Any other questions for Diana on that? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
And also, while the meeting was going on, I emailed the annual report for the drug court again, just in case you didn't actually get it the first time. So I don't know if that was included in the original approval or not.
Yes.
It was?
All the DOC.
Okay,
All DOC grants.
okay.
All right, Diana,
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, but this grant with the console update and everything, we have 2 years to complete that grant, correct? Okay, so we're not up against the back of the wall.
And they still have not given us a final award, official award letter yet.
Okay.
So I believe our 2 years hasn't even started.
Hasn't even started, all right. Will you be getting that? Or
It should
Kelly?
actually
Or
come to you.
Okay. I hope I haven't got it. Okay. Next on the agenda will be the alley in question in Springersville. I apologize earlier, sir.
That's all right, you said new business, so I thought I was supposed to be up there. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
William Perdrick. I have a property over in Springersville that I acquired by default. And I was surveying it the other day because I sold off a piece of it. And Gary DuBois said that we have an alley underneath one of the houses there and that it should be vacated. I don't know whether do you all have copies?
This is requested again.
I probably have 2 extra copies if you want one.
I haven't seen anything.
So, I don't have one. Springersville and County Road, was it 450 County Road 1000? There's 3 houses at the corner on the northeast quadrant. The first house, right across from the cemetery to the east, has been sold on contract. I re-surveyed that property, and in the process of doing that, we found that there was an alley underneath the second house off of that corner on the east side, the northeast side. And so what we're doing here is just closing that alley. That house was built on the alley in 1900s, early 1900s, and I'm not sure why the alley was ever there. The alley was deeded though back in 1840. So,
So we need to move the house.
yeah, that'd be fine. But I was in the process of probably remodeling the house and fixing it up, so I thought.
You didn't
well,
want to fix it for your alley, huh?
That's right. So I thought maybe I better close that alley before I start doing it.
Jeff, procedures for that?
Well, we have,
Isn't there a hearing?
we have to set up for a public hearing.
This is the hearing.
This is already set, we've already given notice for a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. Good to know.
Yeah, and then we sent the certified mail too. Now, I will tell you, your neighbor did not pick up his certified mail. So he was not, I mean, he was notified as we have to notify him, but he didn't sign for this letter. So,
Now, the alley, as you see on that spreadsheet, or that description, just goes right up to his property and stops. There's no more extension. So it just stops at his property.
Okay,
So would have it been a egress to that property at one time or the other, or?
No, the road is the ingress to
He
his.
has road frontage.
I'm not sure why the alley was ever put there, but that was back in 1840. I'm not sure I can talk about that.
I think, well, when Springersville was platted, I'm sure it was put in there, but the current easement doesn't go any further north than the end of the lot.
That's
Your lot.
Right. It stops at Mr. Nash's property right there.
Okay, well, now let me correct you on that. The house on the corner actually is where Charlie Spencer used to live about 50 or 60 years ago.
Okay.
And then Roy Hobbs, whose house has the alley and under it, used to live in the second house. But I'm sure Roy didn't know that there was an easement going in under his house.
Probably didn't.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it until Gary Du Bois found it when he did the resurveying for me.
Yeah. I grew up in that neighborhood. The reason I know some of the trivia, I'm not surprised by this at all. I think there's a couple other legal right-of-ways that are still in the plat out there that's never been taken out. Yeah.
Is there anyone else here today pertaining to this hearing? Okay. So, next step, I entertain a motion to.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Will this suffice as a public hearing?
She said it's been advertised as a public hearing. so-
Okay. Well then, okay, I'm a little behind on the
So,
paper.
what, we need another one?
Another?
Another public hearing, there's gonna be another one?
I don't think, only one public hearing, isn't it, Jeff?
That's correct, yes. Only
To
one-
make-
only
to make
one
it
needs
legal.
to happen, that's correct.
Okay.
And he has tendered a proposed ordinance that would vacate the public alley.
This is ordinance 2019-04, isn't it?
2019-04?
2019-04. I will move to approve ordinance number 2904, allowing Mr. William Herdrich to vacate a public alley at 4532 East Springersville Road. That's good enough?
I'll second it.
Works for me. It's motion made and seconded to
approve ordinance number 2019-04 pertaining to vacating a public alleyway on property at 4532 East Springersville Road. Is there any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I got a comment.
Oh,
What if we didn't vacate that? Would they have to tear that house down?
just move it.
Set match to it.
That's okay, I'm done.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3 ayes.
Thank you. Can I have that one copy back? I think that's my only copy I gave.
This,
Okay, yep.
Pass that down for our signatures. You want this one signed also, or?
You'll want a copy of that ordinance because he'll record that.
I'm glad I wasn't here today to quote fuel prices.
Is that the one you want?
Recorded, just recorded? Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience.
It's all right, thank you.
It's been a long day.
You know, I got some education today.
Never thought we had one.
All right. Is there anything else that needs to come before us today? I'll entertain a motion to
I'll
pay.
move to do payroll and claims.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to sign payroll, approve payroll and claims as presented today. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. I'll start passing stuff down. We don't need this, do we? There's nothing on here to be signed. is there?
no, that was just. That is good.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. Meeting adjourned.